It has become necessary for me to address you today because of a very pressing and embarrassing issue affecting Ghana's education. And I speak about what is going on with regards to the public basic education system in our country. In fact, as we speak, for 2 years now, the Akufo-Addo led MPP government has failed to disburse capitation grants to ensure the smooth running of public basic schools in the country. The situation has become so dire that the Conference of Heads of Public Basic Schools has publicly lamented. And as a member of Parliament on the NDC side, on the Education Committee, my caucus has decided that we use your medium to call on Mr. President to instruct the Minister for Finance to release the capitation grants to the public basic schools. For those who are not aware, the capitation grant scheme was instituted in 2005, and the purpose of this was to ensure that basic school was accessed free. The purpose of the capitation grant is to finance the administration and day-to-day needs of public basic schools. The grant is supposed to cover the maintenance of schools, to be used to procure items like chalk, attendance registers, to fix broken doors and windows, and minor renovations in our public basic school system. But because government has failed to do the needful, many heads of basic schools have had to borrow monies to ensure that the schools run. Some of them have had to take loans to the extent that many of them are now being harassed by their creditors. And this is clearly affecting teaching and learning in the basic school system. For the 2022 budget year, government allocated and we in Parliament approved an amount of 60 million Ghana cedis for capitation grant. As I speak to you, government owes capitation grants for the previous budget year at a whopping amount of 45 million Ghana cedis. What that says is that government was only able to remit 15 million. For the current year in question, the request was 61 million for capitation grant. Government only brought 11 million for us to approve. So ideally, government should be making available to the basic schools capitation grants in excess of 106 million Ghana cedis. That is not happening. The request is not being met, and the monies that ought to go to these schools so that they can function properly are not going. This is why these days you don't hear of basic schools undertaking activities like cultural activities, like sports activities. It is clear that, contrary to what we are being made to believe, that education under Akufo-Addo or his record in the area of education is unsurpassed, is a blatant lie. Because you cannot convince me that you are not able to provide the needed resources for the foundation, which is basic. You owe capitation grant in excess of 2 years. Headmasters are having to borrow money to keep the system running. And because of that, many parents are becoming disillusioned and disappointed in the public basic schools. They are sending their awards to private schools. You can't tell me that this is an example of a president and a government which has prioritized education and, for that matter, has a stellar record when it comes to the area of education. So we are calling on Mr. President to do the needful by instructing the Minister for Finance to pay the outstanding arrears and to make sure that there is timely remittance of the capitation grant so that the public basic school system does not collapse.